We have to be quite fast.
They're fit, strong.
Quite mentally fast.
As long as they don't want to try and take on the men.
It can appear quite violent.
Attitudes will change and they'll get excellent support and you will see some excellent champions.
My name is Nicola Adams and I'm an amateur boxer and I box for England.
Nicola is 25 years old and from Sheffield. She's ranked #1 amateur boxer in England and #4 in the world. She's been boxing since she was 12.
Basically I started by going down to the gym with Mum. My mum just used to do like fitness, bikes, treadmills, aerobics videos and stuff. And they did like a junior boxing class and she decided to bring me down to that and then I've been boxing ever since basically.
12 years ago, women like Nicola would not have legally been able to box in this country. It was in 1996 that the Amateur Boxing Association of England voted to lift the 116-year ban on the sport. There are now over 500 registered female boxers in England.
Women wanted to box, but because they couldn't under the banner of amateur boxing internationally or in England, they were doing it underground.
In February this year, the ABA appointed Rebecca Black as the first ever Women's Boxing Development Manager.
But now the women coming through should just be treated as sports people and be acknowledged for who they are and where they are. So I think that change, some of that came with some of that history. I think that those initial barriers are still there as well, in a lot of people saying I don't want women in my club, or I'm not going to referee a female bout, or just being very obstructive to maybe a female coach. But things are changing, and the more it changes, the easier it becomes. So you'll speak to a lot of the females and they won't have faced any discrimination because they've met the right coach, they're in the right club environment.
Touch wood, I ain't really come across anybody as such, but I know like a lot, some of the other girls have. But all you got to, there's prejudice with every sport in there, but if you just got to do what you like doing, and if you like doing boxing, why not?
Nicola trains here at St Thomas's Boys and Girls Club in Sheffield. It's been home to many boxing champions in the past. One of them, Johnny Nelson, knows what it's like to be up against prejudices.
Quite a few years ago, to see the first black heavyweight champion of the world, people didn't want to know. They actually wanted to try and kill the guy. Then eventually, attitudes changed. And then now, it's the women are getting the stick. And if attitudes will change and they'll get excellent support and you will see some excellent champions.
And already, women boxers are fighting it out for champion titles. Here in Liverpool at the Greenbank Sports Academy is the 3rd European Union's Women's Boxing Championship. Not only is it this year's largest competition for female boxers in Europe, it's also a great opportunity to improve the image, the popularity and knowledge of the sport, which is going to be vital over the next few months if the International Olympic Committee are going to consider allowing women's boxing into the 2012 Olympics. The Amateur Boxing International Association say that they meet the criteria for including women's boxing in the Olympics. They say it's widely practiced in over 120 countries. Diversity in weight categories promotes safety, it can take place in the same venue as men's, and the sport already attracts media attention. The chairperson of the European Women's Boxing Commission will put forward these reasons to the IOC this autumn.
At the moment, we really have to act. This is the time when the decisions are made. And we need to promote women boxing. We need to tell everyone that women boxing is ready for Olympics. There's no problem.
Despite meeting all the criteria, AIBA may still face some issues, as Sherpa explains during a speech at the EU Women's Boxing Champions.
I want to quote one person, but I'm not giving his name. But some person on a very high level in a sports organization said this year that women's body is not built for boxing. And I think it's a very stupid thing to say.
Medical problems from boxing are a concern for some. In particular, the British Medical Association are against the sport. They say,
"We are opposed to boxing for men and women. The sport is dangerous and tragically some boxers die in the ring. Many more suffer brain damage and a gradual but irreversible decline in their health. The longer you box, the greater the risk."
For women specifically, the BMA say that the sport could be dangerous if the woman was pregnant, and that hits to the chest could damage breast tissue.
Now, I think people do have their own views and they're welcome to them, but they should also make an informed decision and come to watch a boxing match, because when people can watch an amateur show, because it's very different from professional, you'll see that there's always a doctor on ringside. You can't have a contest without a doctor being there. You have medicals every day before you box. You have a yearly medical. The coaches will literally throw a white towel into the ring. That's where the saying comes from. If they feel their boxer is out of their depth. There is a 15-point rule, so that if a boxer is out of their depth as well, the referee will stop the contest. And for women, it's optional, but most women wear breast protectors. There is that protection. And I also spoke to Dr. Mike Loosemore, and he told me there's actually no evidence about anything being hit in the breast area then causing breast cancer. But it's still better to be safe than sorry.
We have all the protection and stuff. We have a chest guard, groin guard, head guards, gum shields. I mean, I think as well, women's boxing is more technical rather than looking for the knockout punch. So, I mean, touch wood, I've never been injured really.
It's not only medical concerns that pose a problem for the growth of women's boxing. Women boxers in this country only make up 3.7% of the boxer population. Trying to get women into the Olympics could see some resistance from the men involved in the sport.
One of the challenges might be that for women's boxing to be included, the number of men competing might have to reduce. And you can imagine the resistance that will happen then. So we'll take a step forward and we might have to take 10 steps back in terms of acceptance just to get into the Olympic Games.
The IOC cap the number of medals awarded in each Olympic event. If women are allowed to compete in the Games, then the number of medals may have to be shared between men and women.
If we have to start talking about putting away men's categories and bringing in women's categories, I wouldn't like to have this kind of discussion.
But despite these problems, it looks like the next few months could be the last round in the fight to get women's boxing into the Olympics.
I'm getting more and more confident now. The EU Championships was held, obviously kind of clashed with the Olympic Games slightly, but all of the reports from that event went back to the IEBA meeting, the Amateur International Boxing Association meeting that was held over in the Olympics, and women's boxing was raised. I'm just waiting to hear what the result of that was, because I know my chief exec was there. He was at that meeting and he was pro it being involved, so he was pushing it for us. And he's always said, since I've been in post, it's not going to happen for 2012. He's now saying, actually, I really think it might happen.
Unfortunately, they won't let women box in the Olympics yet, but they will do eventually. And it's just about success breeds success.
Already next year, IOC will make the final decision. So this is a very, very critical time for us to convince everyone that they have to accept us.
So it seems that the gloves are off and that people are fighting their corner to support or to stop women competing in boxing for the 2012 Olympics.
There's nothing more you can achieve really, apart from well the best is going to the Olympics, and that's what I want to do. I want to get that gold.
And once the final bell goes, it will be the IOC who decides who wins and to see what is the outcome of this final fight for women.